Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast of Leading for Change Future Leaders of Early Learning and Community Development. I am Alexandra, and I'm here today with
Justine.
Ashley.
And today we'll be talking about different leadership styles that we've encountered through our practices in early learning or community based programs. And we'll see what we've learned from this. Ashley, would you like to go first?
So, from my early learning experience, I have better leadership experiences from my teacher, especially my art teacher in my diploma program. She created a very welcoming classroom and created a community where everyone felt seen and supported and had maintained very good relationships, even maintained very good relationships with us. I experienced this again during my internship where my supervisor provided us with genuine check-ins and encouragement made me feel like I truly belong. This really reflects Goldman's affiliate leadership style, which builds emotional bonds and team spirit. It also reflects a transformational leadership style, which inspires others through vision, encouragement, and growth. I feel like this really reflects more my supervisor from my community development placement, as she really inspired me every morning with her check-ins. What about you, Justine? Do you have any experience with community development?
Yeah, so my community-based placement I had, unfortunately, I did not have the best experience due to my supervisor there. I found she wasn't very supportive and kind in the way that she gave instruction and directions. Having that been my first community-based placement, I was definitely really lost and confused as to what I was supposed to be doing, and I feel like her leadership style was more so commanding in terms of Goldman's leadership styles. She would tell me what to do, but more so not describe why I'm doing it or how to do it. And she would go back to her office and not follow through with what I was doing. So I didn't even know if I was doing it correctly. Alexandra?
On my side, thankfully, I've had two positive experiences. I'd like first to talk about my experience during my summer internship. I feel like I was surrounded by leaders falling into the transformational leadership style. Um, it made me feel like the leader had a clear vision around supporting children, families, and educators, and they communicated that vision consistently. What really stood out to me during the internship is that it wasn't just about a leader, but everybody worked as a team together under the same values, working to achieve the same goal. They also made me feel like I matter, that they didn't just tell me what to do, but instead they explained why it mattered. They made me reflect on my decisions, like not telling me that it is wrong what you're doing, but more like why are you doing things in this way so that you understand and learn from it. And this is one example. The other example is situational leadership style, and this I was surrounded by during the community-based placement. um, the approach of the group that I was working with changed depending on the situation and the needs of the team. So at the beginning, I was like shy, not sure of what I was supposed to do. So they were really direct and supportive. They offered guidance and they checked in a lot. And as I became more comfortable, uh, they were letting me be more on my own. And everybody worked in a collaborative. They collaborate with each other. They encourage discussion. I was part of decision making during groups, so I had the opportunity to voice my opinion and be part of the change. Ashley, did you have anything similar or different to add?
So, unfortunately, I did not have as much of a positive. I had an opposing experience in the workplace during my time as an ECE. Um, the leader avoided direct communication and instead made passive aggressive comments through the children, which made me feel shame and was very humiliating and isolating. I found a lot of the it shut down my growth rather than supportive which reflected a coercive leadership style that demands compliance and harms moral over time. That experience pushed me back into a dark place, but also shaped the leader I want to become. I chose kindness over shame by bringing in books for comfort and literacy and started a garden so children could experience care and growth in meaningful ways. Instead of leading through fear, I leaned into a democratic, transformational, and affiliative leadership style by supporting co-workers through strength, safety, and encouragement, just as I would with the children. In early learning, leadership also benefits from democratic elements where educators feel respected, have a voice, and can contribute as a part of the shared community. It reminded me that leadership in early learning is ultimately about building community and choosing connection over control, which has inspired my leadership now and in future endeavors as an RECE. Does anybody else, like Justine, do you have any other positive ECE experiences?
Yeah, so following that community-based placement, I had a very positive internship experience at an early learning center. My supervisor was very supportive and very much an affiliative coaching style, so she was really adamant on creating emotional bonds with all the staff there. And I feel like she put a big effort in actually being in the program. She rarely would ever be sitting in the office. She'd always be in each of the toddler preschool rooms, communicating with the educators, checking in. There was a lot of checking in, a lot of, well, what do you think? What would you rather do? Which made us all feel like we had a say and our opinions matters, and we were all in the same like wavelength with everything. So I really appreciated that. Following that, it really made me realize the kind of coaching style that I would like to have for myself moving forward. I'd also like to be affiliative or like more so democratic. So instead of just insisting things have to be a certain way, providing reasoning behind why I think that we should do things a certain way, so people actually understand why I'm proposing this idea. Because again, as I said, in my community-based placement, I didn't like how I was being told to do things, and I didn't understand why. Had I understood the reasoning behind the request, I would have been fine with it, and I would have like proceeded in my placement with a different mindset and just more knowledge as to like what to do and why to do it. Alex, do you have anything else to add regarding like reflections or anything?
Okay, so for my future leadership style, I would like to be a mixing between the transformational leadership and the situational leadership. I think they both really go together. I think it's important to make people weather it and be able to adjust according to their needs, but it's also important to see individual strengths and support people from your team according to their strengths. And based on this, I really like to be part of a community board that focuses on justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging practices, because this is really important to me. I've been part of a community like this during my placements, and I strongly believe that it's important to feel like you belong, like you're included, and all those other principles at any work setting, not just in early learning or community based. Just Ashley, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, so for my leadership style, I really look into a transformational leadership style, as it can be very inclusive, empowering, and focus on real growth. One of the initiatives I'm currently on is a youth initiative, and I find they really take this into action as they bring youth from the community and have them sit at the table and hear their voices, something that is not often a practice. I hope to continue working with these initiatives that create meaningful change for the community while supporting the youth, as I feel they are a foundation of our society. Justine, do you have any final reflections?
Yeah, just based off everything I've experienced through work and placements, I think it's important to lead people with empathy and to build emotional bonds with my coworkers. And regarding like committee boards, I have not been a part of any, but I would be open to it just because I do see that it's important to be a part of a bigger group.
Awesome, yeah, so I'd say we all look for building relationships in our leadership styles, but is there any final comments or anything, or?
No, I just like to say thank you to everybody listening to this podcast, and it was great to learn about different leadership styles.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.